Alrighty, welcome back, guys. We're gonna play some more Octopath Traveler today. We're currently done with all the stories, except for I don't know, the additional stories. I think I really don't know what's going on, but we're gonna go to this new thing that they added to the map, and we're gonna go see what's going on there. So yeah, I'm also gonna try something a little different. I hope you guys don't mind, but if there's any cutscenes video where there's talking, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the cam. All right, so let's get into it. So I think we gotta go to the right and down, right?
Now it begins.
All right, so here we are. Whatever this is, we made it. So the journey for the dawn draws near. If you proceed, the actions you can take will be limited for a while. Any tales you wish to experience are best completed before the journey for the dawn, but the choice is yours. You can still save your progress after this point, but saving in a different slot is recommended. So we should go. Why isn't there a save point here? Bro, what the hell? All right, I guess we'll just check it out.
The fire won't catch.
Let's give it another go, Agnia. Every failure brings us one step closer to success, eh?
Right. We just have to keep trying.
Brought firewood, you two.
Thank you so much, Casty.
Be careful. A fire's not worth getting wounded over.
If it's flames you want, I can do it.
Not so fast, partner. How else are we gonna work up a sweat?
If you insist on being so inefficient.
We're back. We didn't find any beasts lurking about.
But we did find this water. Goodness, physical labor has never really agreed with me.
There's nothing like a good meal after a hard day's work, Temenos.
Speaking of which, I wonder how the hunters are faring.
Heave! Heave! Ta-da! It's not a feast without a main course.
A feast? This is enough meat for a butcher shop.
I didn't think hunting would be so much fun.
You've got the stuff that great hunters are made of, Throne.
Ochette would know.
Oh, are you retiring from the cleaning business, Throne?
Quiet, detective.
Well then, I believe that's most everything. All that remains is...
Everyone's counting on us to light up their evening. It's time to get serious, Particio.
Right you are, Agnia.
Come on, Fire. You can do it.
We'll show this pile of sticks who's boss.
There we go.
This will be a night to remember.
I think you might be right.
Now we feast.
This is nice, truth be told. This isn't where I imagined my journey would take me.
I know what you mean.
As do I.
That's what makes journeys worth taking. You never know where you'll end up.
Oh, what's wrong? Are you cold?
Doubtless someone in Ku is gossiping about you at this very moment.
Perhaps they miss me as much as I miss them. My friends back home. I've learned much in our travels, and I hope I can use it to help my friends and nation.
I know you will, Hikari. And everyone's lives will be brighter for it.
Thank you.
Even after this journey ends, I'm going to keep on dancing around the world until I can dance no more.
Mind if I tag along? With Particio and Rock backing us, we can hop on a steam locomotive and bring smiles to every corner of the world.
That sounds amazing.
With one of those, you could save your feet for the important part, dancing. And I could extend a helping hand to places I've never even dreamt of.
Will you keep on with Air's apothecaries, Casty?
I want to resume my search for like-minded allies.
Now that's a dream I can get behind.
Yeah, me too.
I'm afraid there's one problem with this planet of yours. If you consider how many people there are in this world, then
There's no room for logic in the realm of dreams, Professor.
duly noted.
What'll you do, Oswald?
I have some unfinished business. Typically, there are many answers that have yet to be found.
Is that so? It's writ plain on your face. You're worried about your daughter.
There's one answer found.
And what of you, Temenos? Have you found yours?
Almost. It's like a piece of meat stuck in between my teeth.
I know what you mean. I hate that.
So, something's still troubling you, in other words?
Precisely.
So, your days as a detective aren't over yet then. Well, I'm here if you need an assistant. Assuming you can afford me, that is.
My goodness. You're awfully greedy for an assistant. Even if I said yes, I'm sure you have your own path in mind.
I do. I want to go somewhere far away, to a place that isn't on any map. A place no one knows about.
A place none have laid eyes upon.
You all have such big hopes and dreams. I just want to feast every day. And to keep the people of Totohaha safe, of course. Should I be aiming higher?
Ah, seems like you've got some meat stuck in your teeth.
Don't worry, Ochette. That's a fine dream.
I suppose it is. Look, a shooting star! I wonder what tomorrow will bring.
A dream?
I had an odd dream. There was a dark place, somewhere completely unfamiliar.
And a dark fire was blazing.
I saw the same thing.
Wait, are you yanking my chain? I saw it too.
We all had the same dream. Could it be a coincidence?
I very much doubt that.
I feel as if I've seen that place somewhere before.
I slept like a baby full of milk, though. Huh. Is it still night?
Strange. Should be upon us soon.
We should patrol the area.
I can barely see a thing.
Huh? The stars. They're all gone. And the sky is pitch black.
Something is amiss. This is no natural nightfall.
Oh, Chet?
I felt this. It's just like before. On your guard, everyone!
Something's coming, and it isn't friendly.
It's here. I'll accept only victory. My turn.
Damn. All right. So, before we start fighting, it seems like, I guess, like all the flames around the world went out. And now the shadow is taking over. At least that's what it feels like. So, pretty crazy. I kind of did some reading to understand exactly what's going on. My understanding is that, yeah, like the whole world is going to be in shadow now. And all the monsters are like shadow versions. And it's basically going to stay this way until you beat it. Somehow, I forgot to heal everybody.
Bring it on. Catapult. Go, go, go.
All right. So it seems like everything's pretty strong. That wasn't very easy.
What was that?
Casty and I have seen beasts like that before.
At the time, we had no idea what they were. Their nature.
I've seen them too. The black aura resembles the one true magic wielded by Harvey. He called it the Shadow.
A shadow. What is it?
I cannot say for certain. Not now, in any case.
Mysterious monsters. Just what we need.
We know next to nothing of this phenomenon. Not even the extent of its reach.
Does this shroud cover only this forest? Or is it much larger?
Nothing for it but to check for ourselves.
On that, I agree.
Well, we need to do something.
Unfortunately, we lack the information to know just what that something is.
It appears our journey isn't over yet, and the path ahead looks far from boring. I think I'll stick around for a little more fun.
All right. Eternal night has descended upon the world. The travelers decide to set out on a final journey to find the cause. Your destination will not be shown on the radar. Search for clues and find your heading. Damn, that sucks. You can change your formation at any time in the main menu. Walk astride your fellow travelers on an epic journey. So this means that we can change our formation anytime now. We don't have to go to the bar or whatever. But damn, it's not going to tell us what to do? We've been waiting a while, and the sun still hasn't risen. What in the world is going on? I don't know, but it's nothing good, that's for sure. If those strange monsters earlier were a product of this darkness, then we must figure out the cause of this long night, and soon. I couldn't agree more. First, we search for clues. Now we're talking. So where do we start? Come on now. You must have some ideas, right? Why don't we look for places like this one? What do you mean? I mean other areas shrouded in the shadow. There are more? I can't say for sure, but it's the only heading we have. A fair point. Standing still will get us nowhere. Let's start by searching for other places blanketed in darkness. Alright. Looks like it's time to hit the dusty trail again. Damn. It's not gonna tell us where to go. How do I know? I guess, yeah, dude, it's really hard to tell. Is this like an area? Yeah, it's really hard to tell. we might have to cheat a little bit and figure it out. We're also probably going to have to upgrade or level up a bunch of characters, because really we only have these 3 need to get leveled up quick. Oh, Chet especially. All right, so I think I figured it out. We basically just are going to go to the map and look at all the little places, and if it's danger level 51, I'm pretty sure that's where we're supposed to go. So like this grotto, that's one place. I think this place way up here, that's one place. So 2. What it showed like 4 different places, right? Like, see how that's a 45? It's probably not there. So all these are the same, right? Look right here. The Flame Church is a 51, right? So we probably have to go there. So that's 3. There should be a 4th one somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where though. But yeah, I think so. We'll go here first. The Tranquil Grotto. So we'll go to Ku. And then we'll head that way. That's how we'll start. Okay. So this is how you can tell. When you're not in the area you want to be in, there's no music. It's just dead silence. But when you're in the area you're supposed to be in, you get the creepy music. We're figuring it out. Those are the clues.
I suggest you get out of my way.
Alright. So now we're in the Tranquil Grotto. Why is that so hard to say? Tranquil Grotto.
Howdy there, friend.
So the sacred flame has been doused. Perhaps it can be rekindled with something. With what? Okay, I get it. There's 2 statues. This is the statue of Seal Tig. I don't even want to say that. The Lady of Grace. So my understanding is you have to have Agnia in the party. And then this one is the warrior. Statue of Brand the Thunderblade. Or maybe not. Who else would it be? Oh, I don't have the warrior in. Duh. We'll take out Particio. It's gonna be hard, bro. None of our people are that strong. What's a shiny mirror do? Maybe we need that for this.
Out of my way.
Alright, the sacred flame has been doused. So we have this thing in our inventory glowing. So I'm gonna assume this is what we need to do. The mirror reflects the memories of the sacred flame.
It was hope that drove me to live, to survive, drove me away from death's clutches, guide others along the same path. But hope was a mistake. There is nothing worth living for, nothing in this cruel, unsightly world. There is no dawn worth waiting for. What would you give to see the morrow, Lord Ageha?
Kazan, why did you betray us? You lifted up Lord Mugen to the throne, then you tore him down from it.
An eagle must hide his talons. It was the only way to catch my true quarry, the Dark Blood Blade, the sacred treasure of Clan Ku. Not an easy thing to steal, not so long as Mugen stood in my way. So I cut him down with Hikari's sword.
You? What are you?
For years I have hidden my intentions from Ku. My very name, but now you shall know it. Oboro. All I did to prevent the tide of darkness that waits on the morrow from reaching us. Within this blade slumbers the power of the shadow, power to quench the flames. However, such a feat cannot be accomplished without a sacrifice. Cursed blood of Darkest. If not for its taint, we may have seen a desert free from the stain of crimson. And now I end this, Hikari. Goodbye, old friend. This world's end calls to me. Soon you shall have the world you envisioned, a world without bloodshed, for oblivion shall bring peace.
I knew we couldn't trust that guy. When we killed our dude, our brother, and the sword was like sitting next to him, I knew it. I knew that guy was going to take the sword and do something. I was like waiting for it this whole time. Crazy. All right, the first sacred flame burns anew. Let's hear this banter. Kazan, Mugen's rebellion, the razing of the city, even my ascent to the throne. We're just were they all just more of your plots? Were we all playing into your hands? How many of my friends died because of you, Hikari? Ever since I was a child, I spoke with him about the future of it. I envisioned a future without bloodshed. Were our ideals so different? Why did he do this? He aims to bring an end to the world. We have to stop him together. We will. We'll lead everyone towards the dawn. Crazy. Alright. No big boss fight though. I thought there'd be like a big fight. I was like totally prepared to fight something here. But now that you notice, now that we got rid of the purple haze, no music. Okay, so this time we're going here. We're on our way to the Felsen ruins. Alright, we made it to the ruins.
I'll do what I must. Now it begins. It's over.
Alright, forgive me.
Oh dear. Blaze on.
Now then, strike them down.
Now then, forgive me.
My turn. Choose your next move wisely.
I need a plan. Strike them down.
To work. Holy on. Fighting is not what I do.
I shall be your opponent.
Alright, so we picked up these journal fragments, and I'm pretty sure, like, I want to read them all. There's a bunch of them, though. So, I'm pretty sure I got them all. Let me count them. I think there's supposed to be like 17. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got 17. I'm going to read through these. I'll show them on screen. But I'm not going to read them out loud. But my understanding is this is going to, like, explain all the lore. Alright. So this one is, bro, I think I'm just going to read it. It's going to suck, but I'm going to read it. I don't know. It's a lot of reading. Basically, whoever wrote this, they became a scrivener. They're a journalist. They said that they want to learn people's secrets. And by doing so, he's going to become a cuddly puppy until people tell him the stuff that he wants to hear. And then he says at the end, my brother, or he or she, whoever this is, my brother may be the soaring eagle with his bird's eye view, but I'll be a sharp-eyed hound. So I think, what was the dude's name? Cannon? The guy who turned on us must be related to whoever wrote this. Let's keep reading. Alright, so this guy's saying his brother is really smart. And then at the end here, he's saying he basically also says that humans suck, right? And then he says that here, him and his brother both reach the same conclusion. The world doesn't deserve to see another dawn. The life of a man is nasty, brutish, and ugly. Why not make it short? So he clearly now is ready to, like, put an end to everything. That's barely fragment 2, bro. This is gonna take forever. Bro, I kind of want to just read this out loud to everybody. I need her on our side, and I need you to convince her that's a good idea. My brother's face was flushed as he handed me the letter addressed to Raimei. Perhaps he'd been in his cups. I didn't need to ask him why he would be celebrating. The fundraising in Montwise was going swimmingly. On my way home, I spotted Hikari. He's the key to everything in Ku. And if our machinations go according to plan, my brother will get what he's after. I doubt Hikari has a clue who I am. Another tactic proposed by Brother Dearest. No prior familiarity with me will help move things along down the line. But though Hikari doesn't know anything about me, I certainly know a lot about him. Hikari has another side to him. A second personality that my brother says was born from his family's cursed lineage. Somewhere in the past, Clan Ku's blood mingled with that of the infamous Archmage Darkest, sparking a history of war and sacrifice. A more odious bloodline I do not know. As I passed Hikari in the street for a moment, I felt as if our eyes met. His gaze was steady and true, just as it was when he was a boy. How had that bright spark in his eye not dimmed over time? He has seen the same horrors I had, been through the same terrible war. Journal fragment 4. This is bad. Hikari was captured before I had the chance to deliver my brother's letter to Raimei. If Hikari is killed, it'll ruin everything, and we'll have to start over from scratch. Clan Mei calls the fortress of Stormhail its home, coldest place in Solistia, and I hate it. Time is of the essence, yet this frigid blizzard is battering me like a leaf in the wind. If anyone, I could take 2 steps without being blown 3 back. By the time I finally reached Stormhail, Hikari had already been released. I can only assume he managed to sway Rei Mei on his own. I handed my overdue missive to one of Rei Mei's retainers and quickly put that chilly place behind me. Oswald is sentenced to life imprisonment. It took me a moment to process the judge's verdict. I blinked, doubting my ears. What was going on here? He was supposed to be executed, wasn't he? I ran as fast as I could to find Harvey. I should have known. The swine had stuffed leaves into the judge's pocket to bribe him into that decision. Why? I want him to see the power of my perfected magic. That's his reason? The blighted fool. Pride. Worthless pride. We need the Book of Demons complete. What if Oswald somehow finds a way to interfere? When I gave my report to my brother, he simply said, just watch the spectacle unfold. Apparently, my brother had already taken Harvey's massive ego into account when he made his contract with the man. If that's the case, then I suppose this isn't a problem after all. Regardless, I should hurry and gather what information I can about Frigid Isle. I concealed myself among the chattering students and slipped into Harvey's lecture. The Book of Demons is nearly complete, so he was in a jovial mood. When I saw my chance, I gave Harvey the news. Oswald had tried to escape Frigid Island and died in the attempt. I thought the news would throw his high spirits off a cliff, but instead he just started giggling. It was creepy. When he finally settled down, he merely said, "I need to prepare for my guest's arrival," and vanished back into his laboratory, humming cheerfully all the while. It's like he thinks Oswald is alive. Is Oswald alive? It can't be, and yet, if so, then he will come here and find Harvey and seek his vengeance. Wait, this could be perfect. I doubt Harvey will honor our agreement and hand over the Book of Demons without a fuss. If I can set those two against each other, it might create the perfect opportunity to slip in, and swipe the book. I wonder if my brother had predicted this too. Harvey is left for Dusk Ruin Shrine. The remains of Archmage Darkest will provide the final piece that Harvey needs. The Book of Demons will soon be complete. I found a nice, cozy place to conceal myself, and sure enough, Oswald showed up. Just as predicted, the two fought it out, and I was able to retrieve the Book of Demons in the wake of their battle. There was one surprise, however. Harvey escaped alive. What was the bright flash of magic? A glimpse of a force that may dwarf even that of the Book of Demons? That girl. Does she have some special power within her? Oswald entrusted the girl Elena to his assistant before setting off on a journey. Like Alpedus, the blood of the Lumina family runs in Elena's veins. I'll need to continue monitoring her to watch for suspicious signs. Day after day, Elena sits at her desk and pours herself into her studies. A diligent girl, I suppose, but I am curious as to why her brow sometimes wrinkles and she cradles her head in her hands. Still, her eyes are bright and her gaze seemingly set on some happy goal far off in the distance. A marked difference from when I saw her in Harvey's company. There was only worry and fear in her eyes then. My heart nearly leapt out of my throat when I heard the assistant's voice suddenly ring out behind me. "Can I help you, miss? This is a girl?" I immediately turned and tried to distract and dissemble with my tried and true cover story. "Can I interest you in a newspaper subscription?" Bro, if this is that little Scrivener chick that was following around Partitio, that'd be crazy. She smiled then, eyes warm, but I sensed a keen suspicion burning deep within those friendly eyes. I will not underestimate her again. No one else has ever noticed me when I didn't want to be found. I need to abandon my surveillance. Too risky. Besides, I've seen nothing suspect in all the time I've watched Elena. Might as well move on to more important matters. Well, here I am in Kennelbrine. Word is that I can find someone who has the lost pages of the Book of Night original manuscript. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, seems to be moving as Arcanet predicted and assembling these pages. There's a potential problem, however. A nosy inquisitor named Temenos seems to have caught wind of all this. Arcanet has her eye on him, but I can only pray he doesn't make any problems for us. I'll need to be careful not to draw his attention too. The Book of Night is close to being fully restored. Once it is, I'll need to move quickly to retrieve it and fulfill my mission. Allying myself with Arcanet was merely the easiest means to the end. My brother did not tell me to be wary of her, however, he was quite forceful about it. I wonder why. My brother did tell me to be wary of her. Caldina, captain of the Sacred Guard, is driven by a lust for vengeance. To achieve that end, she seeks to make the power of shadow her own. And with the restored Book of Night in hand, she set out for the Twilight Shrine. Her naive dream of avenging her people will never become reality. Why, you ask? Dear Diary? Because the right Arcanet taught her is purposely flawed. So there I was, hiding in the shadow of the Twilight Shrine and waiting for the perfect opportunity. Lo and behold, Caldina's right went away and she transformed into a most hideous form. No one told me I'd have to deal with some horrible monster. This is above my pay grade. Luckily, I had no need to fear. That Temenos showed up and handled the Caldina problem for me. I suppose Arcanet was behind his well-timed arrival. What a puppet master. Bravo. I finally understand why the brother warned me to keep an eye on her. I slipped down to the ritual site after Temenos made his exit and retrieved the Book of Night. All that's left is to combine it with the Book of Demons, and we'll be able to complete the Dark Blood Grimoire. Here I am, grand old Timberane, just in time for the coronation ceremony. Word on the street is that the apothecary named Trousseau is going to rain on the parade with a storm infused with shadow energy. His goal, and I quote, is to extend a hand to save all in need. What a nice notion. Let's rewind the clock. It was 1 year ago that Trousseau lost hope in the future and started down his path. He was out gathering medical herbs when he stumbled into Lost Seed. There, he met Claude, who gave him the Book of Night. Claude was disappointed with the encounter. It seems he had swayed Trousseau to his side, but couldn't persuade an apothecary in the man's company. With a regretful sigh, he told me that his other apothecary's eyes were filled with a motherly strength, deep wells of kindness that bellied in a sense of fierce determination. What was her name again? Yes, Casti. She stopped Trousseau, saw the people of Timberane to safety, and even dealt with the poison rain. As if it wasn't enough, she also managed to mix up medicine that could combat the shadow on the spot. Claude's intuition was right. Casti is someone to keep an eye on. My brother will need to know that we have another dangerous potential wrench in our plans. I met a merchant today in Clockbank, an honest fellow with laughing eyes named Particio. He's boasted that he'll rustle up 80 billion leaves and buy the right to the steam engine from its current owner, Mr. Rock. Then he'll give the technology away to everyone. When pressed on why, he said things like, "This should be shared with the whole world." Particio confuses me. If I can borrow the ruthless Rock's words, it is human nature to take from others and give unto oneself. Despite his noble declaration, I'm sure Particio will prove himself no different from the other slime. Greed and self-interest will win out in the end. They always do. Still, I'm vaguely curious as to how his story will play out. I'll follow this Particio, though I'll keep my expectations low. Placing your faith in others only gets you betrayed in the end. There's a lot of reading. Holy crap. I can't believe it. How did Particio turn that economic desert of a town into a hopping commercial hub? That business idea of his was inspired. I must admit that watching Alron's department store come to life woke something warm inside me. I told Particio that the world's filled with people groaning under the weight of 1,000 problems. It's fresh ideas like this that bring a ray of joy into troubled lives. For once, I really truly meant what I said. I should never have poured my heart out in public like that. I suppose my declaration was proof that he's cracked my emotional defense and convinced me to gasp. Believe in him. In my defense, he really is something else. Before I knew it, I was promising to help. Truth is, I'm excited to see what magic he'll pull out of his Particio hat next. Guess what, dear diary? This is the first time I've ever helped someone for something that wasn't directly related to my mission. Let me stop for a moment and also appreciate the fact that he convinced the Alrond to invest 80 billion leaves in him. 80 billion. The question is, will Particio prove to be a man of integrity? Will he really use those leaves to help the world and not just line his own pockets? Just a little bit longer. Only a bit, mind. I find myself needing to see what he does next. Particio's gone and done it. He has gone and done it. He's humbled Rock and actually wrestled the rights to the steam engine from that greedy tycoon. Still, that's nothing compared to what he did next. He actually gave it away. Just as he said he would. Things like this should be shared with the whole world. He's lived up to that grandiose statement and then some. The heat of his passion even melted Rock's icy heart, and I didn't think the desert sun was hot enough to do that. So taking a step back, what Particio did is impossible, unimaginable, inconceivable. I've observed countless people in my time, and to date, every one of them is motivated to varying degrees by self-interest. People are always willing to step on others to achieve their own interest. But Particio, is he truly different? Is he someone who can at last transform this dark, ugly world into something wonderful? What do you think, brother? Oh my god. My brother made a deal with Harvey. Craft the Book of Demons, an evil tome said to be imbued with the magic of the Darkest himself. Why, you ask? Well, dear diary, because we need it to restore the lost Dark Blood Grimoire. The rub here is that neither my brilliant brother nor even Claude knows how to make this tome. Thus, the need for Harvey. The one thing my brother does know is that the remains of the Darkest are a key component. When I shared that vital tidbit, Harvey smiled. That's all I needed. It sounded like he was already most of the way there. He's a valuable asset. So we'll do everything we can to assist him. Harvey has an unhealthy obsession with a scholar named Oswald. No, let's call it what it is. A severe inferiority complex. Harvey told me he'd gladly give up the Dawn if it meant he could best that man. We let Harvey read the Book of Night in order to pull him to our intrigues, but honestly, I think it wasn't necessary. That bottomless well of envy in his gut, properly manipulated, would likely have been motivation enough. Besides, I don't trust him. No normal person can fathom that twisted mind of his. Welcome to my humble castle. That was how he greeted me when I arrived in Lost Seed. Before he took me on a casual stroll through the rotting mausoleum of a town, I struggled not to gag on the stench of death and decay. All the while, his smiling and breathing deep, as if taking in the airs of tranquil mountain meadows. This ghastly man's name is Claude, and he is the descendant of the infamous Archmage Darkest. It is said that his notorious grandfather gave him a taste of the blood of the malevolent god of darkness, Vide, or Vide, maybe. Frighteningly enough, while he was still in the womb. As a result, the man is blessed with eternal youth. With the blood of Darkest and Vide within his veins, Claude's fate was to become the Dark God's vessel. And yet, He rejected this destiny and instead chose to pass that honor on to his offspring. For our part, we don't care who the vessel is, just that we have one. Claude, however, seems to have preferences in the matter. Preferences. The man sired countless children with countless women and set his progeny at each other's throats. To the bloody victor goes the ultimate spoils. I shivered as he looked me up and down, his eyes seeming to pierce my very soul. It was as if he was seeking to plant a murderous seed inside me too. Think he was going to try to pregnate her? When he handed me the dark blood staff, he told me that the woman who stole it from him has a lot of potential. His sword, or his words, my purpose in lost seeds fulfilled. I hurried out of there. I can't wait to hand the staff over to the Arcanet and let her handle the cathedral's sacred flame. So now we know about Claude, right? Which is Throne's dad. He has like crazy blood in him that makes him immortal. Dear Diary, today I met with Petrichor, the woman known as the Dark Hunter. I'd introduced her to Professor Harvey several years ago at Arcanet's request. She was a talkative today and has this to say. I met Arcanet when I was young, and it was then that I swore myself to her service. Ever since, I have hunted for her and her alone, even slaying the legendary monster known as the Guardian of the First Flame at her behest. Sometimes I hunted people too, like the time I came to possess the Dark Blood Bow. Once again, my lady has use of me, so I shall gladly obey. I nodded along, and when she was finished, she showed me a monster. This beast, which she captured on Totohaha, looked out at me with eyes filled with loathing for all that walked on this earth. I asked her what it was, and she told me the result of years of brutal conditioning and a healthy dose of Harvey's science for good measure. So they're talking about the werewolf. The result, an abomination crafted through repeated and horrific experiments. I nodded again. A soul this steeped in despair would surely prove to be a great source of power. It seems that leaving the flame of Totohaha in her care should prove no issue. Alright, so that's it. Whew, that was a lot of reading. Pretty cool though. Okay, so this one is the traitor. So I'm pretty sure we gotta have Particio in the party. Okay. The mirror reflects the memory of the sacred flame. The little Scrivener.
Now what have we got here?
So Ori is a bad guy, which is crazy.
A sacred flame? Here of all places? Have I stumbled upon a scoop once again? Why, I believe I have. I'm glad that's done. There's no need to keep up this cloying facade. To wear the mask of a chipper, unflappable Scrivener. No. Now I bring an end to this dark, wretched world. To liberate its people from their pain, their suffering, and their hatred. Just like I swore to you, brother. Together, we will usher in the night. I kept a close eye on the travelers. All while my allies and I worked behind the scenes. Until at last, I found the book I sought. The Dark Blood Grimoire. With it, I will smother the sacred flames, that they will never again light the way for the dawn. I offer this gift of blood. May the flames turn cold and dark. Mortals, gods, who was it that drew the line between them? The blessed, the accursed, us, them, Particio. Would that we had never met. I'm sorry.
Alright. The second sacred flame burns anew. Let's hear the banter. Ori, I heard from an apothecary in town. A woman was found collapsed near the sacred flame and brought there for treatment. She had brown hair and wore a cap, much like a Scrivener. After she regained consciousness, she simply vanished. That's Ori. It's gotta be. But if that's true, then what saved her? It appears her wounds fell just short of being fatal. She must have changed her mind just in the nick of time. She saw the worth in walking towards the dawn. Well, I can hazard guess as to why she hesitated. I believe it was the thoughts of you that saved her life. Now, don't be ridiculous. Like I'd have anything to do with that. Well, no matter. As long as she's alive, all's well. But just where did she wander off to? I sure am lucky that you're around to cheer me up, huh? Our journey isn't over. We do well not to waste time in idle conversation. But if you must talk, then perhaps a different topic of conversation would suffice. Thank you kindly. All right, let's go back home, or at least to somewhere we can save. Ready. So now, I think we go to Totohaha, the path to the tombs of the warden beasts. Okay. All right. So the path. We're on the path now. We go to the right.
Stand aside or...
The tomb of the warden beasts. A sense of danger is overwhelming. Are you certain you wish to proceed?
I shall render my
It'll be
judgment.
a big boss fight. Whoa, he's ugly. I got absolutely destroyed and I'm pissed. I'm speechless. This is the most I've died to any boss. I'm pissed. I've died 3 times in a row. I'm so mad right now. Oh my god, I'm fucking... Ugh. I guess I'm gonna have to spend a bunch of time grinding, bro. This is the next day. I had to redo it over and over, grind over and over, and then I finally beat it right now. Jesus. So we need to turn on the charitable. Who is this? Casty? All right. The mirror reflects the memories of the sacred flame. The scarlet moon waxes and the first flame wanes. At last our great wish shall be fulfilled.
This world is naught but hunters and their prey. Just as Cataracta fell to my bow, just as Glacius's egg shattered before my might, the Dark Hunter sets forth once again, and my aim will not falter. Under the gaze of the Scarlet Moon, I shall fulfill the great wish. You must be quivering with joy, for your time has come at last. 10 years ago, I scooped you up, let you live. It was all for this moment. The darkness in our hearts is fed by anger, hatred, resentment, and jealousy. Our basest instincts. As that darkness grows deeper, so too does the shadow grow powerful. Few can stand against a beast whose heart has been drowned in darkness. A beast such as you. Long have I waited for the darkness within you to become black as night, so that maddening flame could be smothered forevermore. With my lifeblood, I shall call down the night. Now then, make of my flesh an offering, and banish all that stands to oppose us. Give meaning to your miserable life. Arcanet.
So the third flame burns anew. Let's hear the banter. So that was the first flame, huh? Have you heard of it before? Yeah, it came to life inside me. It was comforting and warm. It was then that I decided I wanted to protect the island. I always forget you had a heart warmer than most. Now I think I'm ready to take on something even bigger. I'm ready to protect the whole world. That's what a hunter should do, after all. I feel the same way as you do. I want to extend a helping hand to everyone in need during this endless night. You're an apothecary everyone can count on. Then let's do it together. Let's keep everyone safe. Gladly, Ochette, I'm honored to have you by my side. All right. That was so hard, dude. Jesus. I don't know what it was. It was like doing an attack that would just wipe out the team sometimes. It was like sometimes it would just be too hard. Like I could knock him out or break the enemy.
Are you my next patient?
But not every time.
What to do? What to do?
And so like it made it hard to try to keep up with him. But yeah, all right. So now we can go back to the village, save the game, and go to sleep. All right. So I guess it's just right here. Let's hope we don't get killed right away.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
But this smell, it's the scent of humans. They're frightened. Hiding.
Someone's coming.
Mint,
Is that you, Temenos? Out for a stroll in a place like this? You always did have the habit of sticking your nose in places it doesn't belong.
A friend of yours, Temenos?
In a manner of speaking, but something's odd.
You failed to see what was in front of you. The shadow is ever by thy side.
Just what are you? This is an inquisition. Refuse to answer and...
Attempting to conquer others with threats of violence will always fail. Those who are subdued by strength cannot help but rebel. To conquer them, truly conquer them, you must subjugate their hearts and minds. Hearken to the shadows in their hearts.
What are you talking about?
People are desperate for a place to belong. Give it to them, and they cannot bear to live anywhere else. And then, their hearts and minds are yours.
Their hearts and minds?
Humans are foolish by their very nature. Centuries pass, and yet they remain the same.
Bold words for someone so young.
Surrender yourself not unto silent dusk, for the light shall fade, and soon night shall fall.
The teachings of the Moonshade Order. No, it can't be.
Since you are so dogged in your search for the truth, allow me to help you. My true name is Arcanet, and I am the leader of the Moonshade Order. The same order that slaughtered the Call, all so that I could steal the flame.
That's impossible. The massacre of the Call was decades ago, and the Moonshade Order's origins are older still.
It's not impossible. There are old souls out there that hide behind youthful faces.
Thanks to Caldina's efforts, the Book of Night is now in my possession. That girl was so eager to be a puppet. She didn't realize the strings were held by her sworn enemy.
The Pontiff knew who you were. He was going to tell me, but his life was cut short.
I had hoped you would be more stricken. How dull such has ever been your nature. Your face always a placid mask. But I suppose it matters not. This world's end draws nigh.
That staff.
Once, long ago, night was invited into the world, but a loathsome few drove it away. Those events will not repeat themselves again.
You stole the futures of untold innocence.
Did I? Then you should thank me. This world is cruel, monstrous, with not a single mote of joy to be found amongst the misery. Don't you see? Roy, Pontiff Jorg, yes, and even Crick. They knew. They knew the beauty of a dawn that would never come.
Quiet. I won't allow you to sully their names with such blasphemy. You will answer for your sins, Arcanet, and I'll ensure the world they hoped for comes to pass.
At last, Temenos' mask falls off.
I'll accept only victory.
Very well.
Alrighty, so here we go. I think this is the last fight for this little part of the story. So let's get her. Hopefully it's not as hard as that last one. God.
Study harder.
Hell yeah, dude, we did it.
And so we arrive at this moment. Are you truly so desperate to see the dawn? I see now that the Pontiff was not the true threat. It was you, Temenos. You, a dagger sharpened to a razor's edge. Claude's masterwork. I can see it. A collar around that thin neck of yours.
A collar?
You will never be free. Even if I fall here, nothing will end. And they're always near. Soon night shall fall.
Farewell, Mint. Your days of meddling are over.
Soon night shall fall. From the looks of it, it already has.
If this isn't night, then...
Alrighty, so I think we have to... Where are we supposed to go? Oh, we gotta go light it up, right? Up to here? We have to go to the cathedral itself? Okay, I'm gonna assume that's what we have to do.
I'll do what I must.
All right. Let's grab this little shiny thing here. All right. Did you write this? Odner asked. I immediately ripped the book out of his grasp, and he shrank back a little, surprised at my strength. I couldn't believe that he, of all people, had gotten his hands on the hidden script. Or my hidden script. Odner had been acting from a young age and was already doing quite well for himself. I, too, had longed for the stage since I was a child, but ended up working at my parents' candle shop instead. Even so, I hadn't been able to give up on writing, and it became my secret pastime. I hadn't shown my scripts to anyone, though afraid for the response would confirm just how talentless I was. I screwed my eyes shut in embarrassment, preparing myself for his ridicule of my silly script. But, would you mind if I performed this? He asked. I let out a strange gasp, completely caught off guard. It'd be a shame not to. Why don't we show it off at the next Festival of Grace? Though, taken back by the proposal, I was overjoyed to know that someone appreciated my writing. I nodded in agreement and decided to make it a performance to remember. Despite it being Odner's idea, I realized that I was even more excited than he was. I even began composing musical scores for the show. I love you, Mary. Those words caused my heart to race and my hands on the harp to stop. What's wrong? Odner asked as he peered into my face with concern. I realized that he no longer looked like that brat who had tormented me with insects in our youth. Still, I know that the words he spoke were not his own. I had been the one to write them after all. Half a month before the Festival of Grace, his performance was all but perfect. I couldn't help but wonder when he found the time to practice. After his normal work was through, I, on the other hand, was struggling to think of a fitting ending to the script and worked late into the night. Unable to ignore my struggles, Odner pulled me away from my desk and whisked me away into town late at night. The gods are all ours right now, he told me as we snuck into the empty church. Not long after, I was struck by inspiration, perhaps by the grace of the sacred flame. Odner watched quietly as word upon word flowed from the tip of my pen. By the time I was finished, dawn was breaking. As Odner read my script, his face was more serious than ever, and my heart pounded in my chest, though not out of nervousness. Once he finished, he smiled softly. Will you marry me? He asked, and I let out another strange gasp. Had I written that line? No. This time, those words were Odner's own. His proposal always had a way of bringing me unrivaled joy. My heart warmed at the sight of his smile and the thought of performing the script we had written together. How I wished the happiness would last us a lifetime. Alas, I watched as the clerics carried his casket and sobs filled the air around me. I laid him to rest with our script and his beloved yellow flowers. No, I thought to myself, this wasn't the ending I had envisioned. The day after finishing the script, I woke up to find my love cold beside me. According to the apothecary, Odner's heart had failed him. I wonder if work was to blame. Why hadn't I noticed? I killed him. I pushed him too hard. It was all my fault. All my fault. Unable to bear the guilt, I pushed his death from my mind and carried on as usual. But whenever I remembered my beloved, I clenched my jaw so hard I thought my teeth would break. One day I found myself in front of the church. The same place Odner and I swore our love to each other, and a single cleric came to speak with me. Sadness is something that builds up inside us. Holding it all in will do nothing but destroy you, she told me. Please let it out. You don't need to endure it any longer. Moved by her warmth, I spoke of everything that I had buried deep inside of me. She listened to every word and at the end embraced me gently. All of my guilt and sadness were washed away by her kindness. Then one day, my feelings for Odner disappeared, and all that was left was her. One day, I saw her with another woman and feared that she would leave me. Knowing I had to secure my place in her world, I told her that I would do whatever she asked of me. She smiled gently in response and said, I want you to finish the blue flames, wherever they may be in this world. Oh, I want you to find the blue flames. I left on my journey soon thereafter. My parents cried and tried to stop me, but I pushed them away. Unfortunately, I barely knew the area outside of my own home, let alone the whole world. Not long after, I met with a traveling troop. They claimed to be bringing smiles to every corner of the realm, so I joined them, and the search began. That's how I found it, the blue flame she was looking for. It was on the isle at the edge of the world. I could only imagine how pleased she'd be. I was sure she would let me stay at her side. Oh, how I adored Sister Mint. I love you, Tansy, she said. Her warm voice and words reverberated in my head. She then handed me an old tome called the Book of Night and recommended that I read it. So I did right then and there. It was a story of people who did not long to see the dawn. I'd never read such an incredible tale before. As I looked up from the pages, she smiled at me. I realized that there was no greater happiness to be had than reading a wonderful book and seeing Sister Mint smile. In my mind, no brighter dawn awaited. Yes, I have no need for the dawn. It can all end here and now. All right, so the lady, one of the traveling troops, I guess. Do I have them both on? Okay, I have them both on already.
Wake up, Tansy. Night has come. Wake up, Tansy. Night has come.
Sister Mint? Oh, I fell asleep without realizing it.
Do not worry. You must have been quite tired. You traveled far to see my wish granted.
Sister Mint? I mean, Goddess. I would do anything if it brought me closer to you.
Your devotion is moving. You have gone far beyond my every expectation, and must be rewarded.
Rewarded?
I love you, Tansy.
Huh? It's so dark. Where am I? What? My body?
Pathetic child. Oblivious until the very end. But this is what you wanted, is it not? It's not as if you desired to see the dawn. The sacred flames have been snuffed out. Surrender yourself not unto silent dusk, for the light shall fade, and soon the world shall know the joy of a dawn that never comes. All who stand in my way shall be cast aside. I shall root out the travelers and bury that wretched mirror beneath the earth, that it may never enkindle the flames again.
All right, so the fourth sacred flame burns. So then now there's like some light. Oh, okay. You think it'll bring light to the world? We're going to have dawn again? No way. We're going to have a big boss fight, I'm sure of it. The light of the sacred flame indicates the southwest direction. So this is where we got to go. All right. All right. So I think this will be the end of this part. We're going to be done for now, and then we'll finish the ending, I guess, hopefully on the next one. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you had fun as much as I did. I kind of got mad, but thanks again. And I hope you guys have a good night and look forward to the next one. See you guys later.